You know what's cooler than being cool? Staying hydrated.
Liquid funk is the best genre name of all time. Look at it. Liquid funk. The soothing, thirst-quenching fluidity of liquid and its respective pronunciation flowing like a stream of water trickling over a stone, contrasted with the single syllable and abruptly named genre funk, known for its grooves and focus on a consistent rhythm. Liquid funk. You just know what you're gonna get. Those same grooves of funk but composed to flow so much smoother, soothingly slicker like liquid. Grooves that don't hit big or go ballistic but fizzle so mystic. So yeah, I love liquid funk as a genre, based on the very momentous genre of drum and bass, and while stylistically a lot of the entries in this genre center around very recognizable and similar characteristics, liquid funk has a little bit more of a unique style by way of atmosphere and more subtle influences from soul and jazz. While Logistic's new album here is a fantastic and even accessible example of what to expect from liquid funk, another more off-kilter and forward-thinking example that transcends the usual expectations for drum and bass came out last year, and I even reviewed it on the channel, Camo and Crooked's Mosaic. But we are talking about Logistics now, one of the genre's most respected names because of his long career within Hospital Records, Matt Gresham. His aim is to bridge the gap between the less accessible liquid funk and more club and dance floor ready drum and bass, and it has been tried and true with gorgeously produced results, with albums such as Reality Checkpoint and Now More Than Ever, which have the rampant momentum to make you want to do backflips on the motorway, but also have the low-key, airy atmosphere to make you want to do it at least silently. None of that racket, please, sir. I think what attracts me to the music from drum and bass producers the most is that they seem to always be wanting to progress sound design and rhythms. Sure, Logistic's last album was probably his most anthemic and pop-orientated yet, but it still clung to the core characteristics of his atmospheric drum and bass style, like a koala with a very lavish and outspoken attitude. Hologram is different though, because if ever, it's now closest to the aquatic and serene atmosphere of liquid funk than before, as if Logistics is completely embracing this new sound, and for the runtime of this album, he seems to be totally nailing it. From the moment that Lotus flower grows as an opening track, like seeds in the ground sprouting, it becomes clear that Hologram isn't so much about kicking up an atmosphere of tension or urgency, but rather just being flat out gorgeous. Heatwave, the preceding track, has a melody and piano chord progression that sounds so friendly and inviting. Less Mr. Krabs and more Larry the Lobster. The sound design makes sure to keep with the aquatic azure too, with the synthesizers on Microdot trickling and bubbling with one of the more relaxed rhythms on the album. It's quite often that the album will take a moment out to settle, and even then it's offering you waves of chill through your body, like the moment when you jump into a cold pool or teabag an ice bath. Frigid Tickles. The track Inemuri is another highlight with its warbling bass, as well as the track Signs with its little manipulated vocal samples that squeal to you like nearby sea animals, and definitely not the kinds that roam one of them Donkey Kong levels. Whereas Devotion washes all of the built-up tension out of the album like a big bucket load splash of water, and it's absolutely inspiring just hearing it happen in real time. It is one of the more immediate and pushing tracks on the album, and it works like a charm, like a track from Sonic Colors, except without the furry connotations. Even if Hologram is over an hour long, and with that amount of time the album is more likely to sound a bit one note here and there, it doesn't detract from the sheer beauty of each track. At times it might get less exciting, but it won't get any less pretty, you know? And I think that's really the safety net for Logistics here. His strength has always been in the atmosphere of his tracks, so it's a good thing that it's majorly strong here. And speaking of strong, I'd give this album a fairly strong 7 out of 10. I feel cleansed.